all tied up, and this first set is dead even.
Unbelievable combination.
Wow.
Beautifully done.
What a great spot.
Hello and welcome to the 2025-26 APTA Tour. We're live from the Aronimink Golf Club in Newton Square, Pennsylvania, bringing you the 2025 Aronimink Open Men's Grand Prix Final, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors, Corient. Tournament support has also been provided by the following local sponsors: Column Advisory, D2 Groups, MAPTA, Wynn Barnes Real Estate, RCM Certified Public Accountants, Total Platform Tennis, Porsche Mainline, Lotus Philadelphia, Xenon, McDonald's Doan Family Enterprises, Commonwealth Capital, Primal Physical Therapy, Lululemon, Stateside, First Form, Cisco, EAS Water, and Dripped Coffee. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Hall of Famer Patty Hogan, and we should have a guest appearance by Guy Moore as well. And this, again, is the men's final between our number 1 and number 2 seeds. Umpire Derek Yost will be in the chair for this match. Patty, welcome.
Thank you, Brad. This is going to be a treat calling this match. What an exciting event, beautiful event here hosted by Aronimink Golf Club. And before we get going and talking about the players and stuff, there's a couple people we really want to thank. There are 19 families who have helped support this event, Brad, for this weekend. So we're going to spend a little time here while these players are warming up to kind of go through that. The Colm Advisory and the Finnery family, D2 Groups and the Dickey family, Gwens Barnes Real Estate, we mentioned them, RCM Certified Public Accountants, and that would be the member here, Doug Matz, the Commonwealth Capital. Thanks so much to Chandler Hoops for his support, Primal Physical Therapy, Eric Abramowitz, thank you, Eric, Drew, Holzapple, we thank him, Deb Sutton, Bill Ryan, Andy Mataloni, we thank him, the Connolly family, the Arzin family, Cheryl Durham, Lauren Brennan, Matt Espy, Andy and Jenny Ayat, Heather and Fran Rodano, and Bill S., Brad. And then the list just keeps going of people that we have to acknowledge here, because this is such a wonderful environment, and the hospitality that we've been treated to, all the players, all the fans here. Special thanks to, besides our tournament director, Jay Seagull, we had Lane McDevitt, who's the Racket Center manager. Nick Catulli did a phenomenal job here. He's been here round the clock since Monday doing every single thing JC asked of him, and JC said he gets the MVP award. Bob Kelly, who's a court attendant. Special thanks to Jameson Wellman from F&B, and the pros, Alex and Danny. We couldn't have done this event without all of the support from them, Brad. So a huge thank you to them.
As you said, the list is long, and you're so right. They did such an amazing job out here. Tournament directors J.C. Cotto, Alex Mascioli did a terrific job getting, basically the community out here. And it takes a village, as they say, and it really did in this case. So kudos to everybody out here at Aronimink.
So, Brad, I've got to do one more little thing. Andrew Mataloni sent me an email this morning, and he wanted me to share this story. So I am going to read it from Andy.
Perfect.
Aronimink lost a very special member this year named Jay Seagull. Here are a list of some of his achievements. Some in the golf world consider him as having the third most decorated amateur career, only behind Tiger Woods and Bobby Jones. That's pretty amazing, Brad.
That is amazing.
He's widely regarded as one of the top amateurs in golf history, particularly in the post-World War II era, based on his impressive achievements. He passed away, sadly, from pancreatic cancer in April of 2025. At 81, having won the British Amateur in 1979, back-to-back U.S. Amateurs in 82 and 83, and I think there's more. 3 U.S. Mid-Amateur titles. He participated in a record 9 Walker Cups. Just a phenomenal asset to this community, and knowing that, we're heading into next year with the PGA golf event. I'll hold on.
The Grand Prix Men's Final. This will be best of 3 sets with tie breaks. To my left, from Chicago, Illinois, in the ad court is Graham McNerney. His partner in the deuce court from Lake Bluff, Illinois, is Adam Morgan. To my right in the ad court, to my left, to my right in the ad court from Morristown, New Jersey, is Albie Regalado. And his partner in the deuce court from Greenwich, Connecticut is Jose Salazar. Regalado Salazar won the toss and have elected to serve.
All right, so there's umpire Derek Yost announcing our players. We got a great matchup here. You want to finish up
So
with
I'll just
Jay
finish
Seagull
up.
there?
So he was talking about Jay Seagull and all his accomplishments, amazing, and then he wanted to add some fun facts. JC and Vlatko are both super proud that Philly getting some really good tournament tough players out here, and what a treat we had with Massioli, the assistant here, Alex. Tomas, of course, is from this area, enjoying some success, not so much this weekend. Willie Wibner, I think you called it a match. Matt Muo, Ethan Leon. I mean, those guys are amazing. Cammie Townsend on the women's side at Overbrook. And, of course, they have Hall of Famer Cindy Prendergast, Charlotte Sikora, Philly Strong. Got to love it, Brad.
Yeah, they had a great showing here, not only as spectators, but also in the tournament. You know, 2 quarterfinals. They almost had a semifinalist here at the event. And a lot of up-and-coming talent out here in Philadelphia. All right, so let's do a real quick rundown of our players here. You can see right there, that is Alvy Regalado and his partner, Jose Salazar, and then followed out by Adam Morgan in the white cap. So we're going to be referring to all these guys as the match goes on. And again, umpire Derek Yost in the chair. It's a perfect day for paddle. It's about 50 degrees, a little sunny. Players usually like it cloudy, but I don't think the sun will be much of a factor today. And it should be just a terrific matchup. We got the top 2 seeds here, and they've been the best teams all year so far. And our reigning national champions, McNerney and Morgan, and they lost to them in Chicago. So it's a little bit of a revenge match. I don't think it was but Regalado and Salazar have been playing just lights out, and lights out in this tournament as well. They both had pretty easy run here. They were tested some. McNerney and Morgan lost the first set to a tough team in Fraser and Rams, and Leon and Moyo, the teams here from Philadelphia, 7-6, 6-4. Regalado and Salazar were able to get by them, but they gave them all they can handle, Patty. And, it's just been a great showing by both these teams. You got a pick for today's match?
I always have a pick. I'm going to go Regalado Salazar today.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to do the same. They've just been playing so perfectly lights out, like they're adding offense to their game. Salazar's level, and he was fantastic before, has jumped up another level, adding better rollers, cutters, hitting the ball off both wings. All right, so we're about ready to get underway here. That is Jose Salazar in the, we'll go with peach pink hoodie there. Looks like he's going to be starting us off.
And the reason I'm going Regalado Salazar, that's Chicago Charity, where...
Yeah, they beat him 7-5, 6-2. They beat Morgan and McNerney.
So I'm just going with that most recent result.
All right, so here we are underway. And a quick blitz there from McNerney. Tries to go right at the body of Salazar, who is slippery and gets out of the way. Yeah, in that matchup there in Chicago, McNerney missed a couple of volleys, and he also got indecisive at some points. Early on, he cracked a few forehands, but then there were a couple of key moments where it was a, deuce point, where, the game point, and he missed it. He just put it into the net, but it looked like an indecisive stroke. So a lot of it depends. They don't need his forehand to win, but he's working on it and trying to add it in. We'll see what's going to happen in this match.
Regalado Salazar won 4 of 7 break point opportunities out in that Chicago final. Thanks to court director, I looked up some stats on that match, whereas McNerney and Morgan were just successful 2 of 7 times. So that was a big difference right there, capitalizing. 78 minutes for that first set out in Chicago, Brad.
Yeah, it was an interesting set because they got up early, Regalado Salazar. They started fast. They got up 5-2. And then they just kind of had a little letdown where their level dropped a little, and Morgan and McNerney were able to capitalize to bring it back. But the balance of the match, Regalado Salazar just played really, really solid.
Will the no-ad games come into play? In the first set there it did. There were 2 of 3 that were run by Regalado Salazar on that day. Yeah,
they always come into play. And the scoring system, of course, and we've been talking about it every single tournament this year. On the men's side, when it gets to deuce, the next point decides the match. The next point decides the game, and the servers get to choose who's receiving the serve.
Brad, I was on the call last night where McNerney and Morgan took out Nunes and Powers, and fascinating strategy where they just froze out Mark Powers for a lot of the match, dumped a million balls over into the deuce court to Guy Nunes, and, you know, that guy's a human highlight reel, but, you know, it kind of worked.
40, 30.
And Powers, you know, just had an off match, Brad. You know, we rarely see that. We saw him after that. He was disappointed in his play for sure, but I felt that Morgan and McNerney did a masterful job in taking the game away from Mark Powers last night.
And as you said, one of the things you're talking about, so tactics, of course, are always a huge play in every match. And they're slowing the pace down. Not only were they hitting it to him, but they were hitting it slowly to him, not hard, right? They're not. Nunez feeds off the pace, and he gets to work with it, so he can take it off the screen, blitz in behind it. So that means they're making him generate all his own pace all the time. We'll see if other teams adopt this strategy. And, yeah, I think the good thing for Powers and Nunez was that they competed well throughout, but they didn't have their best stuff yesterday. So, but McNerney and Morgan had something to do with that as well.
Yeah, they had a lot to do with it, and right out of the box, first game, they had a plan. You saw it. These guys study each other. They know each other's tendencies, shots. They know exactly what's going to happen. 2 shots or 3 shots before. It was a pretty cool performance by Morgan and McNerney to watch them kind of dismantle Powers and Nunes.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to put
15.
it, because they did seem out of sorts, Powers and Nunes. They couldn't get their feet underneath them. They couldn't get any kind of rhythm or flow in the match, and they definitely were kind of a little bit out of sorts, you know.
Yeah, and how many times have you seen Mark Powers out of sorts on the paddle court?
It's not too often, you know. I mean, he was missing a few volleys, occasional forehands. They just didn't, you know, you play all these sports, and sometimes you have your best stuff, and sometimes you just got to grind it and work, and they did compete well. That ball's just long.
Love 30.
A couple of missed opportunities here for Morgan and McNerney early. I don't think we're going to see any of that same strategy today. They're going to have to be careful. They're going to work the middle here, and of course McNerney there, you see the switch at the net, will do his magic with the overheads, trying to control the point. And you're going to see Salazar and Regalado defend until they get a ball that they want to strike. They've been hitting a lot of balls. The pressure they've been putting on players from the net and the backcourt has been extreme.
Brad, as I watched McNerney in particular, because he hits 99% of the overheads, you know, the lobs that come to McNerney and Morgan, maybe not 90, you know, he probably hits 80% of the overheads. Graham's mastery at putting the ball on a dime, taking pace off the ball, his deception, he closes when he sees the drive. You know, I would argue that he might be the single best player in the game from that position, handling the overheads.
The net with the overhead.
When he's the player to the left of the 2 players, if you look at them from behind.
Well, he's certainly right in there, and, you know, I wouldn't argue against it. There's no question. Of course, there's always going to be debate on these things, but given his height and the variety he can hit, because he can hit
15,
waterfalls
40.
from the service line, no one else can really do that. And it allows him and affords him so many more opportunities and choices that other people have.
And you mentioned the waterfall, and that was so effective against Nunes and Powers. And like you said, McNerney, he can hit it off the net like very few players can ever dream of doing. You can hit that shot from the service line, right, Brad?
I cannot hit that shot from the service line, Patty.
How close
I could
do you need to
attempt
be?
the shot, however, it would probably go in the net. You know, but that is what gives him, that's sort of the X factor about the whole thing. You know, I'm not going to say he's a better volleyer. He's a great volleyer, but he's not necessarily a better volleyer than 4 or 5 other guys.
But
when
I'm
you
just
combine it in with the overheads and everything else,
Yes.
he's probably the best net player in the game, yes.
Well, I'm just, you know, as I watched him last night, and I use the word dismantle because he was so effective. He got some help from Nunes and Powers, clearly not their strongest match. But pretty cool to watch. And we were talking in the match. I was talking with Mike Raleigh, and he was saying
30, 40.
he felt Adam Morgan's like the ultimate role player. And I said, I actually think of Graham also as the ultimate role player, in a way.
Well, they're both playing their roles for this particular team, and I think you can make a point for both of them as being a role player. You know, it's going to be McNerney's job to do all that work at the net, close things off. And when it's at the net, it's Morgan's job to hit spot volleys and get in, close in the right spot. And then if he has to hit an overhead, he pretty much hits the same overhead every time. Does a drop, pushes it deep through the court, adds in a roller sometimes at the nick, but it's pretty much that. And then McNerney's going to take about 80 to 90% of the overheads. And then in the backcourt, it's the opposite role. McNerney's job is to push, block, move the ball around to try to set up the Morgan drive. And Morgan does a great job. I've always said it. He doesn't get enough credit for being always ready. He might not get 10 balls in a row, and you hit him just a single ball, and he's constantly ready to pounce on it. And he's got a hammer. He doesn't play with, like, guile or, touch. He hammers it, right? And you can even know it's coming, but he puts such pace on it, and he spots it well. He's got a great drive off both sides.
So an early break here of McNerney, just when we were saying how amazing it was. But
well, in this early stage, they're just missing a few overheads. I can't even say that Regalado Salazar are putting tons of pressure on him at this point. They just made a couple uncharacteristic errors. I assume they're going to just clean that up.
if anybody's in the live chat, we see you're in there. We know the McNerneys are in there. We see some others. If you have any questions for Coach Brad, fire away.
All right, so that's Alvy Regalado up to serve. Partner Jose Salazar and Adam Morgan returning serve here. And then, of course, his partner is Graham McNerney, and that is a great cutoff. They read that blitz play. He cuts it off and stuffs it behind McNerney. The return didn't get down enough.
I love the play, though, right out of the box for Regalado to make a move. You see Morgan, he's one of the most disciplined players, and he pummels that drive through the middle. A huge percentage of the drives he hits, and Alvy just, knew that was coming and made the move to try to help out from the very beginning.
Of course, a shout out to Florentina Hanisch, who unfortunately had to retire in her match in the finals. We hope she's doing okay.
30,
got injured
15.
early on in that first set.
And Brad, I screwed up. It wasn't Alvy who cut that ball off. It was Jose. Even I mixed them up still.
Yes, Alvy Regalado serving this game. And they don't make it easy. They're wearing the same clothes, same hairstyle. That's a great ball. He has gotten
40,
so good
15.
at hitting the nick. And early on in the season, I think he's been the best by far, Salazar, hitting that overhead into the nick. And there's another cutoff. They're going to have to watch this. That's two in a row where he's stuck right on the net.
They lead the first set 3-0.
And that's a great, close and hold. And if Morgan's going to keep hitting it cross, if they're going to keep closing in, Morgan's got to take that drive down the line and even occasionally throw in a lob, because he's hitting it across the court, and you see Salazar just cut right over in there. So if he doesn't take it down the line and make him stay home, that blitz play for McNerney and Morgan is not going to work. And not only is it not going to work, they lost every point they tried to go for.
Right, and McNerney can't really force that action position-wise until he sees that Morgan can hit returns going, and avoiding Jose Salazar cutting that ball off. But
Right.
Jose went to cut that ball off before Adam even swung on that ball.
That's right. He's just moving to the center, so he's got to take it, down the line. All right, Adam Morgan, underhand serve, gets in well and down low. All right, so a great start for Regalado Salazar. And a great start to the year. I mean, they've had one loss on the year. They lost to Nunez and Powers in Baltimore. Other than that, a clean slate. Just been extremely efficient. And they've added so many things to their arsenal this year.
Love 15.
Great spot. Catches him on the right hip. Makes him flip the paddle.
Brett, early in the season, Regalado and Salazar were experimenting and had switched sides of the court on the baseline. Now they've gone back to what made them a tremendous team with Salazar out of that deuce court. What makes him such a special deuce court player?
I mean, Salazar can hit it off both wings. He's got a great forehand, and he's got an excellent backhand. He can do both, and he's learned to defend perfectly. You know, the first year when they went to Nationals and they burst on the scene, you could see he did get carved up a little in that final. But now he doesn't get carved up anymore. He defends perfectly. He sets his paddle down low. He's able to control his lob, and then he's got offense to back it up. And he's looking constantly. I love watching Salazar play, and sometimes I'll focus just on him, and you'll see him constantly. Look, he's in his forehand grip now. Changes grip from one to the other, and he's reading the play. He's always ready to drive.
And you say his forehand grip, Brad, explain the grips real fast.
Yeah, he's got a regular semi-western grip, which is way over and behind it, and you'll watch him play. He's going to a continental. Quickly, he'll change it. So he's got like a continental grip there, and then he hits a good lob. He's going to immediately change his grip. There it is. He's in the forehand grip, and now he's got it. And he teed it up. That wasn't the easiest drive there. It didn't quite come off the screen as much as the others. But you'll watch him. He's constantly setting his paddle over and down into the semi-western grip, and then he brings it back when he knows the screenplay is coming.
So a lot of times, Brad, when you teach people at the beginning, you'll have them with a continental grip possibly from the baseline so they can do a little bit of every shot. And for screens in particular, learning them, that continental grip can be super helpful. But as players advance and you see Salazar, he's always looking to pull the trigger, just like Adam Morgan is. Always seems like he's ready to pull the trigger. And to your point, he can get frozen out for 10 shots straight. And it's amazing in his ability to then just fire away with his forehand. And, I mean, at a super high percentage rate.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I would think in the last couple of seasons, they are at it. You know, Salazar's doing more of the work. He's moving into the middle more. He's taking more of the offense. He's taking a few more of the overheads now, too. And Regalado, of course, still has great offense. He'll make his move up the side wire, but they're counting on that type of play less. And Regalado's going to set up, and if you give him an easy one, he's going to attack it. But there, look at, you can watch Salazar just patrol into the middle and looking for it, and he's driving the ball great. All right, they're slowing it down now a little. A couple of errors for McNerney Morgan early, and they're just got to basically dry those up, you know, like right now. And then once they get kind of comfortable in here, they can start to open it up some more. I actually like this point.
Yeah, fascinating with Morgan not pulling the automatic switch and staying, and Morgan handled from the left position on the court.
Yeah, and that's a very rare thing, and I think they're doing it because they're just trying to actually look at them. They're not hitting any pressure overheads right now. They're just saying, all right, let's put some balls in play. Let's just work and slow it down a little bit. We're making too many errors too fast, and I agree with this. Win or lose on this point, I think it's a great call for them just to sort of, all right, let's settle in here.
And an early quick call. I mean, it's
What hands there from Morgan. Great dink and blitz. Regalado.
I just love that they made that adjustment so quickly, and you know they're one of the best teams in the country, and right away they just came out a little bit, you know, a little flat. Graham missed those two volleys. He kind of got handcuffed by that drive from Salazar out of the deuce court, and they pulled a switch. I love it.
Yeah, it was too flat and too loose to start. I mean, they're down 3-love, and they weren't like 10-minute games, right? It's quick 3-love, and they recognize that. I always say to many of my students, you know, that a break point for many is, you know, after 5 games, you should be knowing what's going on, where the safe spots of the court are, where you're going to hit it, you know, how are we winning and losing points. Here, after three games, they already know, you know, how they're winning and losing points. They're just making errors. And these guys are playing well, but too many mistakes in the get-go, early going.
And on the baseline, you saw Morgan got over in that ad court, and McNerney did not force the switch, which we always see them force the switch.
Well, the more you try to attack with your overhead, if you're not hitting your spots well, oftentimes you're creating more opportunities for your opponents. And right now they're just trying to minimize that, minimize the errors, and minimize the opportunities for Regalado Salazar. And you can see them; they're still working and probing. And there, he doesn't even bother to come back in. He knows he doesn't have a good look at a volley, as good a volley as McNerney is. He just bails right away.
Brad, where are the safe spots against Salazar and Regalado when they're on the baseline?
It's not so simple. I think the key is, like anything else, you keep it deep and push it back in there. If you go too hard and the ball gets on the screen, these guys are very dynamic, moving forward in transition. If you can make sure they're hitting a drive where they're back and not moving forward into you and keep the ball deep or well into the screen, you keep them behind in the green part of the court, basically, you got a spot. There's a great hit from Morgan.
30 all.
A little confusion positioning-wise. I think Salazar thought Regalado was going in with a forehand volley there. Great shot. Yeah, Morgan and McNerney, they just got to get a game. And that was great. They cut the errors down. They get one really good look, and he stripes it.
I feel like Adam's feeling it.
You know, to me, one of the things that is actually most impressive about, you can see him get frustrated once in a while, but he's the same. He could be down 6-1, 5-love, and I don't know that he even knows he's down. Like, he's just still playing with that high intensity. I've never seen him take a point off or a moment off. You can see a lot of players, they take a point off or they get mad and then they whack one or something happens. He doesn't change. He's even Steven. And I honestly, I'm not sure he even knows all the time, like, this is, 5-3 or this is, like, he's just always in the individual moment at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think very few players over the course of decades that we've been watching the sport, playing the sport, I've seen few players at the top of the game maintain that intensity. I mean, you go back to, I go back a trillion years. I mean, I never saw him play in person. Steve Barrett.
Steve Barrett might be a guy like that. I was actually going to say Steve Barrett had a particular intensity. I played a lot with him, tennis, paddle, the whole works, and he had a high degree of focus and intensity and a very strategic mind as well.
Yeah, Morgan seems to get off the plane from Chicago, and then that intensity begins with the rental car. Can you imagine him at the counter?
Yes, I think it's all there. Yes.
And they're like, "We're sorry, we only have a small whatever," and he says to Graham, "I got this." they drive out with a big SUV.
There you go. No, but it's impressive, and it's also impressive because his role is like exactly that. You just see him thump a forehand. Look at him. He's always got two hands on the paddle. He's always ready to hit his backhand or his forehand, and he's constantly just on the prowl. And his drive is very, very consistent because it's so economical. It's pretty much flat with a hint of topspin, but it's a flat ball. Oh, great shot there, and he just clears the net, and you see Salazar trying to make the drop volley there. He can't come up with it. Now, this is a great game for McNerney. They've slowed it down. This game alone has gone longer than the first 3 games combined, right? They've gotten rid of the errors, and now they're finding a couple of spots to draw a mistake out of Regalado and Salazar. Wow. Just out. Great spot there from Regalado.
Good choice, Adam.
All right, so we have a sudden death point here, and it's Adam's choice. Adam Morgan, of course, is server's choice here, and he's going to go in there to Regalado. Let's see if Regalado pulls the trigger. He's often conservative on the return of serve on a big point. Yeah, just puts up the lob.
Yeah, McNerney did that last night in the match as well. There was a big point, and he just blocked a lob up, make sure he gets in the point. McNerney did that.
And I think it's smart. The last time he played against actually Regalado Salazar, it was a big sudden death point, and they served to him, and he went to hit the forehand, and he netted it. I think that's in the back of his mind, that type of thing. I get it. Certain other players, it's likely they're never going to not hit it. Like a Mark Powers is probably always going to hit it. Like a ball that goes high to his forehand, he's going to hit it, and he's going to feel confident about it. He's not going to be afraid of it. Other guys, they build their games differently.
Fascinating how Morgan and McNerney are not switching. They've played the same way for 2 years, and all of a sudden, Morgan handling more of the overheads. Amazing.
I think it's good in the sense that it's a commitment to kind of slowing it down and evening it out. When McNerney's doing work, he's moving the ball around. The ball's getting movement. Now they're taking some of the movement out of the game so they can just sit there, be in position, get rid of the errors, basically. As we said, wow, what a shot right on the line. He had an inverted scoop there with his backhand. Great screen balls at the neck, though.
And Brett, I've always thought that when, doing what Morgan's doing and taking the air out of it altogether, Regalado and Salazar are superior athletes, and you make them play flat-footed. Like, you kind of take the air out of their offensive opportunities as well. And to your point, McNerney will switch the ball all the way around and create offensive opportunities from time to time.
There you go, fist pump. And that's got to be off the forehand of McNerney. And these guys are now in the match, 3-1. And a great strategy shift for them. Way to slow it down. That one game, as we said, took longer than the entire 3 games before it.
That's Salazar serving. There's Alvy Regalado, top right of your screen. On the far side, Adam Morgan in the dark T-shirt just got hit by that ball, unfortunately.
15.
They tagged him pretty good there. They were in the middle of their switch. Morgan had just got over there. Regalado's going to apologize, which is nice. I think it's good courtesy. I mean, he meant to hit him, but I mean, and I have zero problem with it. It's a good shot. They're going again. That ball is long.
30, love.
How surprised are you by the start of this match, Brad?
I'm not actually surprised. I think at the start of every match can be a little funny. Sometimes you come out of the blocks and you're just firing on all cylinders. Other times, you're just not quite there, and it takes a minute to get your feet underneath you a little bit, really. And that's what we're seeing now. And for Regalado Salazar, they really have just been playing great from the get-go in every match that I've seen them play. There hasn't been a ramp-up time or anything like that. They are just locked in so far in this early season.
Talk about footwork. Did you see that fancy footwork from Alvy, avoiding getting hit on that ball? Twinkle toes, picked up his feet, all over the place. Reminds me of a younger version of you, Brad.
Absolutely. If you say it, it's true, Patty. Here we go. But, I'm sure he gets out on the dance floor with B. Lopez.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure they cut quite a rug.
Hey. 2024 mixed national champions together.
So slippery, Regalado. And, Salazar's doing a bit of everything, but he's bringing more of the hammer, and you can see Regalado can hit it, but he frequently kind of slaps a low push. He makes you think about it. Salazar can do that as well, but he tends to play with more howitzer balls.
Right, and very Morgan-like.
Right,
out of that deuce court.
More
very
spin,
similar.
though, more spin.
Right.
More spin, but, yeah.
But in terms of Alvy, you expect the off-speed shots.
He's going to mix it up more. And actually, Salazar, in fairness, he can hit a roll it up into your body a little. He hits the probing drives. See, Morgan doesn't really hit a probing drive that often. He really just hammers it. These guys will mix in more, Regalado even more of the probing drive because he loves to follow it up with a blitz.
And when you say the probing drive, Alvy will hit those shots, and
Tweener.
It's like a series. It's a sequence of shots that he's relying upon versus one thump. Wow.
Sitting here in the booth clapping. That was an amazing get there from Adam Morgan. Slaps it up the line. And they come in. He's trying to transition drop volley. Not easy to execute, and he just misses it. It's a tough shot. I don't fault him for going for it. They had them on the run. They had them on the move. But when you're transitioning in, that shot gets missed more than anything else. It's not difficult, but because you're moving in, you just miss some of them. It's hard to avoid that. A lot of players just push it back. And when you go for it, you can make it, but it also is, your percentage of missing goes way up. McNerney moving over, looking for the forehand. Like it. McNerney spotting some balls. He's actually throwing a little bit more in there. He's moving up position-wise every now and then. He's not really going for a ton, but he's kind of trying to threaten little position moves and a little cat and mouse. Mostly slow playing. A good switch in the backcourt gives a different look. Regalado and Salazar know what's happening, though.
Brad, as we mentioned, Chicago Charities was won by Regalado Salazar, 7-5, 6-2. Going back to last season, they played 3 times last season. Regalado Salazar beat Graham and Adam 4-3 in Chicago Charities. A season ago, they beat them in the Boston Open, 7-6, 7-5. Short Hills was won by McNerney Morgan in a 3-6, 7-6, 6-3 match. Were you on the call on that match, Brad, at Short Hills last year?
I was. Yeah, they've had some great battles. I mean, you got 2 teams that defend well. They have good complementary pieces. You know, the roles are a little more defined on McNerney and Morgan. You know, Regalado Salazar, they're very interchangeable. They can switch sides, they can switch back, they can switch in the middle of a point, and you know, you're still going to get offense from both and from a lot of different spaces. They both blitz well. That's what makes them such a good team. Because
Regalado Salazar, they lead the
tough
first
miss
set
there.
4-1.
Brad Corian is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA's 2025-26 season. Corian is a fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at Corian.com.
It's a good close-up there of Alvy Regalado. He's having a little discussion with Graham McNerney, or maybe the umpire, not sure. But
maybe with Jose. They get into some real fun chats out there.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, they both have high intensity. And, you know, and as I was saying before, those guys, and they're starting really well, Regalado Salazar, there's no place really to hit it that's all that safe, right? There's not a safe spot. There are more safe spots when you're going with McNerney Morgan. You can always still, to this point, you know, decide that you're going to dump it to Graham McNerney and take your chances. And that's what makes them such a dangerous team, Regalado and Salazar. There's really no space to hit the ball that's completely safe. Guy, welcome. How you doing out there? Guy Moore joining us in the booth.
Brad and Patty, happy to be here. I mean, it's 4-1, but it doesn't feel like it. I mean, Morgan and McNerney, after that one long point like 3 games ago, got into this match because it was 3-love quickly. I was just out there talking to Allison Morgan. You know, it'll be interesting to see if 2 things with McNerney Morgan adjustment-wise. Do they switch out at the net, right, where McNerney's hitting more of the overheads, because I feel like that puts more pressure on Regalado Salazar, and do they switch out or continue switching out on the baseline? Because I do believe McNerney's forehand is, as much as he's working on that this year, I mean, they're the national champs, right? So how much do they have to do? But you could see he's devoted to it. Is his forehand better from the deuce side than the ad side? Question, right? What do you guys think?
If his forehand, I think they have more offensive looks when you put Morgan on the ad side, just because he's going to patrol that middle more. I'm not sure the forehand's better or worse for McNerney actually on the deuce of the ad, but I think they get more offensive looks. Right now they slowed it up and put Morgan on the, you know, the overhead side, basically on the, you know, on the left side on purpose.
Absolutely.
Because they wanted to slow the points down. They didn't want McNerney to, you know, work him as much. And it was good for them. You know, everything was moving too fast, and they were making too many mistakes in the beginning.
Well, you think about it, too, is from McNerney's overhead perspective, when he's hitting the overheads, I mean, Morgan's volleys are silliness, right? So good. McNerney, because he has that cutter overhead as well, I just think it's, I don't know, Brad and Patty. I mean, I just feel like the pressure is much more substantial with McNerney hitting those overheads. And you know, they've talked about it. You know, are they going to do it more? I think they kind of have to here.
Well, now they're in the match. I suspect they'll get back to it. They're just missing lobs.
Yeah.
A couple of missed lobs. That, I mean, when it's all said and done, if that doesn't dry up, you know, which is going to be a moot conversation, that's a routine lob, not a pressure ball.
Well, and the thing about Philly today is it's perfect paddle weather. I mean, the ball's playing heavy, so them missing lobs long, which probably is the last place you want to miss a lob because they don't miss anything off the screen. It's damp out here. I mean, it's perfect paddle weather. There's no sun. There's no wind. I mean, it's phenomenal weather.
Hey, Guy, why don't you take us through, because you were on the call this morning in the women's final with the injury with Florentina Hanisch.
Horrible. So Lisa Lalich hit a waterfall, and Flor went to her right and just rolled her ankle on the outside. I talked to Flor inside the paddle hut afterwards. I tell you what, Patty and Brad, what a wonderful woman, and just and Anna Zabori, I mean, just sitting there. I mean, it's not the way you want to see, especially the way they were playing, right, and the way they've been playing this season. I mean, just Flora Hanisch has made some great adjustments to her game, more offensive, not as much of a role player, just a big part of the offense, and it's just horrible. I mean, I don't know the last time that I've seen that happen in a major final like this. So.
Yeah, well, we give her the best wishes. Obviously, she's going to have to go kick that out, and hopefully it'll be reasonable news, and, you know, she can get the holidays off in maybe 6 weeks. You know, that 6 weeks is always the time, but we'll have to see, and we'll keep everybody updated as that goes
I
along.
tell you what, I already put a call into Martin. He better be a good caregiver.
There you go. That's her husband, Martin Bostrom. Yep, I'm sure. And if I know Florentina Hanisch, Patty, I mean, you know her so well as well. Like, she'll probably be still working, like reading books, looking at tape, trying to figure out how to get better even while she's laid up.
She's got a paddle ball hanging from a string at home. She'll be working on the
She'll
cutter
be hitting it
in bed. She'll
like
be
a
sitting in
tether
a
ball
chair.
with a,
Martin's going to be saying, come on, a little looser grip. Take that paddle back. Uncoil. And she's like, give me a stool to uncoil on.
All right, so Regalado Salazar are just a freight train running right now, and a cut finisher there. McNerney Morgan, they've made some adjustments. They've slowed it down a little, but not enough, and they're just making one too many mistakes at this point. They're going to have to really just dial this up to a next level. Yeah, there's the head pound after missing that drive.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brad and Patty, and I've been thinking about this as I've watched Regalado Salazar play this season and called a bunch of their matches. I just feel like the way that they're playing, and I know we've all talked about it numerous times in the past streams, the way they're playing much, much quicker this season, it puts more pressure on the baseline team, for sure.
15
and B, they're getting better every single match they playing this way. I mean, they're just getting more and more comfortable because they did not play that way for the last 2 years. Absolutely did not. And I mean, they are in their element, and they're playing with the McNerney and Morgan, one of the teams that grind the most, and they're not letting them grind. I mean, combine that with the no-ad scoring, I mean, and here we are. I mean, think about it. I mean, McNerney and Morgan, the game they've won this set is the no-ad game, and Morgan had some crazy gets in that game to even get there. But, I mean, Regalado and Salazar are, I mean, for lack of a better word, they're A game 100%. I mean, you combine that with lockdown mode, which they're willing to go into, and this is what you get. I mean, they're unfazed. My question for you two is this: what do you do against it? What do you do? I mean, you're down 5-1. What do you do?
I think at this point for these guys, they want to play some points the way they. Oh, what a dig!
So good.
Great hold. Another just perfect dig. Yeah. I actually like that. There's a mojo shot, just get some energy going. He goes hard at the body there.
15-30.
He's going to apologize, but it was a great time for it. They're in transition. They're running all over the place. He can't really get out of the way that well, and he spots it perfectly. But tremendous gets by Salazar and Regalado. Yeah, and you ask, what do you do? I think at this point, it just starts with they have no margin, right? So they got to not lob out, right? And they just got to cut down the mistakes first. And then from there, it's a question of how you're going to start winning the points, right? You got to stop losing them first, and now you got to figure out how you win them. And I agree with you. It's not so simple. I think Morgan should take a few drives down the line. They've lost a few of the plays, Patty, that they've had, throughout their career, like with the McNerney blitz on the Morgan drive. So far, they've tried it 4 times, and they're 0 for 4, right? And now it's just gone. So that's an there's an offensive play they use that they don't have, right? And until he starts driving 1 or 2 down the line,
and way
make
cross
some
court,
adjustments.
Brad. That return to serve from Morgan, he took it way cross court at the beginning of this match, right on the onset. You knew Morgan was coming through the middle, and we talked about how Salazar just took his first return and stuffed it over and over at Graham's feet. So then that caused Graham to retreat, and I think it put Graham out of sorts a little bit.
Do you guys think that, Regalado Salazar playing fast, do you think you have to play faster than them or play fast to compete with what's going on with this momentum right now?
I think if you see them slowing it down, they just dump 6 balls in a row. They can play any speed.
I know.
And I think you just have to be reactive in the moments. I think they can, when it gets going fast, feed off that and be able to attack a little. The problem is they just haven't had the variety. And they're getting an error out of Regalado on a basic ball. All right, so they got a break point here. And if I'm them, I just want to play a couple of good games and good points and just sort of get our feet under us. And whether you win the set or not, you're not really worried about it. You just want to start playing a little better, make a few less mistakes, and get into the second set, as well as you can. But that's a good sign there for them, winning that game. And they got an error out of Regalado.
The hand warmers in the pockets to try to help with that.
Well, you're right about going into the second set. If anyone comes back from 5-1 with Regalado Salazar, it's Morgan and McNerney.
Yeah.
They can do that, and they're not even looking at the score as much as they're saying, "Hey, we can win this set."
Oh yeah, but they just have to start playing more solid the way they want to, and the rest will take care of itself.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely, and we all know that they would be willing to stand out there for 5 hours. If they do that, Brad, you drive me back to New Jersey?
Without a doubt. I can drop you off.
Okay, good.
I'm passing right through on my way to Connecticut.
I don't know if I'm going to ride with you or Patty, though. I don't know.
Such good choices.
I know. So good.
So that's out of Morgan Shorting. Graham McNerney with his back to us up at the net. Returning out of that deuce court on the far side, Jose Salazar, and that's Alvi Regalado in the ad court.
Cut short, nice play. Long at his feet, just great movement there. He sets his paddle down, and he dances right around it, leaves the paddle under the ball.
Do you guys like McNerney in that overhead position?
Of course, yes.
Love it.
In general, their team is designed that way. McNerney do the overhead work and control it. They just came out too fast, and as he was doing it, they were losing points too quickly, so they slowed everything down, put Morgan over there. I think they're going to get back to it, soon enough.
Love 30.
And
Brad, I was going to say, a couple of years ago, we saw so many of the guys playing sidearm. We don't have Durant Mitchell anymore.
Love 40.
To do it, but why has it changed back to more traditional serving?
I just think the more traditional serve is a more challenging serve. We got 3 set points here, by the way, for Regalado Salazar. And this could be one of them. And they get it on their first try. And we'll talk about that as we come back from a break here, Patty. I think it's a good conversation, but we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel with live streaming by Joho and match statistics provided by Court Director.
At Corient, Wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Tour, and I'm Brad Eastbrook here with Patty Hogan and Guy Moore in men's final round action, where our number 2 seeds of Regalado and Salazar took the first set 6-2, playing almost a flawless set against McNerney and Morgan, our number 1 seeds. So what do we think about that set, Patty and Guy?
Go ahead, Patty.
I mean, just an amazing start for Regalado Salazar right out of the box. And, you know, they had McNerney a little bit out of sorts in the early going, so much so that we saw a dramatic change in strategy. We've watched Morgan McNerney now for 2 years, and Graham's always hitting the overheads. Adam's always the guy, at the net in a position to the right of him. And even on the baseline, we have McNerney typically out of the ad court, and they switched, and, that kind of gave him a little bit of light, let him slow down the pace of the match slightly for them. And, I think it was important for them to get that second game on the board here, go 6-2. And as we said, Morgan and McNerney don't seem to play with the score in mind. It doesn't really matter. That first set's over. I expect a super competitive second set here. But Salazar and Regalado are playing lights out.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Morgan McNerney, adjustment-wise, I love McNerney in that overhead position. I just think he puts so much pressure with his height and his range, and it puts Morgan in a position to volley, which he does probably as well, if not better than anyone in the game when he's on top of the net. I mean, he's just so solid. And I also, Brad, I don't mind the switch out in the back with putting McNerney on that deuce side.
I think it's good, yeah.
I think whether they do it all the time or not, I think it's just a great different look. But more importantly, what you said a couple times is we're seeing some uncharacteristic errors from McNerney and Morgan. This is just not them, and they don't miss lobs long. They don't miss. They that's just their. They just don't make.
They just don't, right?
They just don't. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. They just don't make those mistakes. So, like you said a moment ago, they got to clean that up, and if they clean that up, they're in this match. Because I said it yesterday, and I've said it.
Wow.
Such a great ball.
Yeah.
Regalado and Salazar don't play consecutively bad games. And if they play one bad game, it's over. And generally they play a bad game together. Their lows are never that low.
It's strange. McNerney and Morgan are reigning national champions, and they're the number 1 seeds here. But it feels like the margins in this match are a little lesser for them. Like they have to play cleaner. Regalado and Salazar have learned to put enough pressure on you where they're getting more points off of their paddles. And they're just doing a great job with it. And therefore, they're gaining a few points on you every 3 or 4, that go on there. And it makes it tough. So if you don't play the clean match, you're giving them one more, and it's tough. And I think you make a great point that they don't play usually like bad games or bad even points more than one in a row.
They don't. They just simply don't. And I tell you what, Brad, too, I mean, at the end of last season, if we could have said, hey, what do Regalado and Salazar need to do? Because their expectations are obviously to win numerous national titles. I mean, they played great in Chicago, won that back-to-back. And, I mean, guess what? And I said it, and I'll say it again. I mean, they just keep getting better and better at playing fast. Because, you know why? Because they can slow it down when they need to. They know when to speed it up. They know when to slow it down.
Yep. No, but it's more than that in the sense that not only are they getting better at playing fast, but they're just getting better at all the things you need to do to play fast. Their cut overheads are better. Their rollers at the nick are more accurate now. I've seen Salazar hit the nick more than anyone else in the tour so far this season. He's just taken dead aim on it, and he's, hitting it frequently at a high rate. If you get 1 out of 20 balls in there that you try for, he's going much better than that. Maybe
absolutely.
Like 1 out of 10,
Well, he's aiming for it, and I'll tell you what, just standing out there right next to the court a moment ago. Salazar,
40-15.
Salazar's grip when he's in the backcourt is 90% in that full Western. I mean, he's way over to his right. He's looking for the forehand, and he has the ability to switch it back to hit a lob. But, I mean, that is just the number one reason you really can't just go there. I mean,
I saw it on the line. It's good, yeah.
Wow, great call there. Great sportsmanship from McNerney.
Game
Call,
Regalado,
and
Salazar, they
McNerney
lead the
calls it,
second set,
actually
1 game
overrules
to
it on
love.
their own
Won the
selves.
first 6 games to 2.
So the machine keeps running in. Regalado Salazar, Patty.
Yeah, they look mighty good. I just had a quick look outside. Big crowd here gathered at Aronimink, enjoying the action here. I just saw Floor Hanish on crutches. Told her about this is a great opportunity for her to work on her overheads, really expand some of her spins, and she loved that idea.
There you go.
Maybe the chair, the swivel chair, I think, the stool, the high-top stool would be a really good way for her to do it.
All right, Graham McNerney to serve here, and Regalado Salazar are giving them nothing. They're attacking, and the only errors they've made have been actually going for an attacking shot that they just, it wasn't even bad, they just missed it, right? And it's just another pressure ball. They have given them nothing on a basic ball, you know, like lob the ball out or miss the return of serve in the net. They really have just given so little that makes the margin so small for McNerney and Morgan. And it also makes the feeling of coming back that much more daunting, right? Because it's so hard. You have to win all the points. They're not giving you any. You got to win them all. And that just kind of mentally wears you down over time.
Absolutely. I mean, this is not the way you want to feel. And to talk about McNerney and Morgan, I mean, they're the last team that you would think.
40, love.
I mean, this is a run right here. I mean, we haven't seen a game like this the entire match.
Right. And
oh, this is it. This is what they need,
that
really.
one loose overhead from Alves
40,
kind of
15.
set the tone a little bit there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Put it the wrong side. You're right.
That's game, yeah. So that was perfect for McNerney Morgan. That was, we just talked about they're giving them nothing, and then they just gave them 4 in a row. That's exactly what they need to sort of jumpstart their, you know, comeback. And it happened for us, but like you said, we'll see. And you had mentioned this before, Guy, that they don't play 2 bad games in a row usually, and they do it all at once, and they just did it all at once right there in that one game. So
We'll see. I kind of teed you guys up for that. You see how that worked? I mean, 4 quick points. I mean, they play bad together. So.
Well, and super importantly, I think, is that McNerney was broken, you know, twice, thanks to the stats from courtdirector.com. Check out all live match stats. Great resource for all of us and everybody out there to be interested in, you know, break points, converted, all kinds of stats like that. Guy, I know you're super into courtdirector.com.
Love it.
But McNerney was broken twice in that first set. I don't remember too many sets where McNerney was broken twice.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, too, how many no-ad games have we had in this match? Just one?
Just one.
One.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday, calling Regalado Salazar, there were 14 in the match. I mean, that's craziness.
Nunez Powers, I think that match started off, I think one set we had 6 straight break of serves in the second set.
And that's just a testament to how well Regalado and Salazar, and the fact of the matter is it hasn't been that close yet, right? You know, you have a lot of sudden death deuce points when the match is really close.
Well, I think in that first set yesterday,
30, love.
they lost 6 out of 7 no-ad games and still won the set. I mean, you and I were talking.
Yeah, that's
Brad,
a crazy statistic to me. I'm gonna have to check that one out, but that's outrageous.
That's unbelievable.
Actually. Yes, it's actually outrageous.
Well, it happened. So do you guys think they slow it down here? Is that what they do, or speed it up? I mean,
Talking about McNerney Morgan?
Yeah, McNerney Morgan. I mean, their style, I mean, the way they play best is to slow it down and just grind.
Yes, I think they're going to have to at this point, but to me they actually look a little out of sorts. Like they're not sure what to do.
I agree. I like the switch here. And the reason I like McNerney's forehand from the deuce side is because of his range. I mean, he's got such a big reach if they don't get the ball to the side screen, I mean, he can go anywhere. He can go down the line. In fact, I love him going down the line because it moves the ball back to Morgan and creates space. But great volley by McNerney. Wow.
Brad, what makes Alvy Regalado such a special player out of that ad court?
I mean, he's got wingspan, speed, agility. He's got touch. What else does he need?
Well,
Creativity.
Right, creativity too. Oh, he needs creativity. He's got that too.
Keep going,
right?
Brad.
He's got that too. So
Keep going, Brad.
he defends the corner
Keep
perfectly.
the superlatives going.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait.
And he, you know, and he does a great job controlling the lob. He also
40
plays
love.
with a great deal of discipline. Like, he doesn't tee it up. You don't see him get baited into things. He's controlling the point the way he wants to control it. All right, he doesn't get baited into doing one thing or another. And he's got plenty of offense. He can move up the sidewire, so he can just come at you in every single kind of way. And
Well, I'll tell you this. What I think he does so well over there is what you just said. He sneaks up the sidewire, and he doesn't drive balls that he shouldn't. If he misses, they're good looks.
40, 15.
And I don't know the last time I've seen Regalado drive a backhand. That just shows his discipline. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I mean, he's looking for his forehand. If he doesn't get what he wants, he just doesn't take the shot.
Game, Regalado, Salazar. They lead 2 games to 1.
The other thing,
They won the first 6-2.
the other thing too is we've seen them do this, not as much this match, but I mean they haven't had to, but they will switch out Salazar into that ad side, and Salazar's backhand is crazy good. Really, really good.
yeah, he hits the ball great off the backhand side. He prefers his forehand, but he's got a great backhand.
He
Salazar.
really does.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to Short Hills Club, proud of their director of rackets out here, Alvy Regalado, doing a great job over there, and his partner Jose is the director up at the Stanwich Club. Greenwich, Connecticut, Adam Morgan, co-director out at the Birchwood Club in Chicago, and Graham McNerney, the only non-pro on the court, works for an accounting firm, Ernst & Young.
And of course, after our event here, the tour keeps marching on. Next event, December 6th, 5th through 7th, actually, the Dwayne Hayden
Love 15.
Long Island Invitational. Yeah, they just, you know, right now for these guys, I think McNerney and Morgan in a match, you know, any match you're going to win, they're going to win. You're going to be talking about a variety of things that we haven't mentioned at all. We're going to be talking about McNerney's overheads, controlling the points, right? And McNerney making a blitz and stuffing it, and Morgan's drive
30.
doing damage. And we just haven't seen any of it. None of the ingredients are coming to play. All of that is really due to the high level of Regalado and Salazar, and they just haven't let him breathe. They gave him that one game. Other than that, they've just been nonstop.
Yeah, and remember, too, what we said. You know, when Regalado and Salazar have a bad game, they generally do it together. They did, but they clean it up immediately, which they have. And I think, too, you can make all the tactical adjustments you want, but then at the end of the day, you just got to hope for one thing, that Regalado and Salazar just stop playing this well. I mean,
Without a doubt. Now, I think this
15,
comeback's
30.
only going to happen with a slight level drop from Regalado Salazar. They got to miss 3 or 4 drives, and then, you know, maybe there'll be a little door for McNerney and Morgan to walk through. And it did happen in Chicago a little bit. They were way down in the first set. You know, they were down in that set, and they did level drop it, and they were able to get back to 5-all, McNerney and Morgan. But we're not seeing that at all
15-40.
today.
Really surprised. You know, Morgan cut that ball across. I thought he was going to stuff Alvy in that ad corner. Tried to bring it back behind him and just missed the volley. Break point?
which you never see. I mean, he just
Rarely.
Oh, there you go.
30.
Hey, look,
40.
the
Can never
error
say
say, I'll
never.
take it. Yeah, I'll take it. It does, like, hit it out. Let's take the point. Good. Perfect.
I think Regalado heard me say I haven't seen him drive a backhand. That's why.
All right, there's a couple errors. Now we get to a deuce sudden death point here. And
Huge
surprising
point.
2 misses there right in a row within a 5-second span. That's kind of a huge point. This will be a little life. And we talked about the fact that they need a couple of errors to jumpstart it, and this will be the point. But here now they're going to go to lock it down. You see, he doesn't go for the return. He's going to keep it in.
Needless to say, much more important point from McNerney Morgan.
That's a great waterfall. Nice dig. That's good waterfalls. He's going right at the crease. Can't find it. And because of the way this match is gone, you will frequently see McNerney hit like 20, 30 over, but he gets a rhythm with it, right? Third panel smash, cut to the middle. He's tempo. Had none of that. No None. Tempo, no rhythm. There's nothing for them to work from at this point.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Brad. And I was just going to say, too, that you almost feel like that's what they need. I felt like in the first set when they had that really, really long point, even though they lost that set handily, they got into the match because they were down 3-love quickly. But, yeah, that's their mentality, just to grind. And they just haven't had enough of those grinding long points. Even if they lose the game grinding, they still start to gain some momentum.
Regalado and B. Lopez both came down with, they were sick last week, and each of them running a little bit lower energy. Albie was feeling okay this morning, but I think a little concerned if this were to play out and be a really, really long match, could impact him. I think they both got a cold when they were trying out for Dancing with the Stars. B confirmed it, that Albie is the exceptional dancer of the duo. It's that footwork.
Yeah, I was talking to Albie last night, and he said he felt horrible after their match. And this morning, I told him, I said, take 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And he showed me this morning in his smart water bottle. He goes, I listened to you. It was full. It was orange. How about that?
All right, it's a huge point here for McNerney Morgan. A little less so for Regalado Salazar, although they don't want to give him any life, so.
No, Regalado Salazar win this game. It's, wow, great spot by McNerney.
Yep, just good hands there from Regalado.
I mean, that is not an easy volley, that forehand volley behind you. In Regalado Salazar, I like this. I like Salazar hitting the overheads.
That's going to get hit.
We haven't seen Salazar hit a cutter yet today, like serious cutter.
Very little. They're kind of just playing an even tempo, too, playing as error-free as they can.
If I can call it old-school Regalado Salazar, this is the point. I mean, they go into that mode where they just refuse to miss.
Guy, the Aronimink Open last year was not a Grand Prix. It was a tour event, and that event was won by Regalado Salazar. They got their 4th win of the season last year here, and they won that final over Nunes and Powers.
Speaking of the Aronimink Open and the Aronimink Golf Club, how unbelievable is this venue?
Second to none. What hospitality.
Big miss there. That's a huge blow for McNerney and Morgan there. Great point. They were grinding it out, and he makes the move, and he gets the ball. He's right on it.
I love that move.
Oh, no, he had exactly what he was looking for.
It's a great move.
Just netted it. It's an unfortunate miss. 3-1 Regalado Salazar. Both those teams grinding. They're recognizing how big a point that was. And Regalado Salazar, they locked it down really well. They made 2 quick errors to give him that game point, to give McNerney and Morgan that game point. But then they shut it right down, played error-free. Still, very good look there from McNerney.
Love 15.
You can't ask for more.
No, it's a great
Just got to
move.
execute.
Yeah, nothing tactical wrong with that at all. Great move.
Great spot drive from Morgan right there. Took advantage of that short first volley and just pummeled it and handcuffed, got the volley error.
All right, Dink, and he's onto it, and he stuffs it right into his chest.
15 all.
Brad and Patty, when I was standing outside talking to Allison Morgan, we were just talking. What a wonderful person she is. And like you mentioned, Patty, her and Adam do such a great job at the Birchwood Club. But, You know, with McNerney, as good as Morgan, and I do like this switch, as good as Morgan and McNerney are our national champs, it's cool to see McNerney focusing on his forehand. I mean, clearly he is, right? He's hitting it more than he did last year. Agree, Brad?
Without a doubt, yeah. I mean, it's always been he doesn't want to be that player where you can just dump it to his forehand, right? He wants to have the threat there. And the honest truth is that is the one thing that is going to allow him to speed up the play. Right now, still, the slow play is still most effective for them. But that's mostly because once he develops that, it's going to change.
Yeah, and I would say too that if you're going to develop that, it's nice to do it now, and not in March, right?
Sure.
And I give him a ton of credit as our reigning national champ to retool and realize he's got to just keep adding tools to his tool belt there. All players do, and it's pretty incredible to think about it. You're a national champ, and you have to keep adding to your game. And I expect
players
then he'll be in a position where he can then have more choices at the ready if things are not going well from their agreed upon initial tactic, when a match starts out.
Well, Patty and Brad, Regalado, Salazar are the perfect example of, hey, you learn a lot about yourself by losing. And again, they lost some matches last year, certainly in the Nationals, and look, they came out at the beginning of the season and just from a tempo perspective, just a different team.
That's Jose Salazar, far side right of our screen, hitting. That's Alvey, who just hit that overhead over to the deuce court where Graham McNerney is over there, and that's Adam Morgan in the ad court near side.
Big drives from Morgan, just beautiful, great hands there at the net, like a wall.
I mean, Morgan, Brad and Patty, I mean, has he ever hit like half the ball? He gets 30, all the ball 40. All the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's such an economical stroke.
Do you hear the sound?
Yeah, he thumps it.
I mean, it's just bang. Here we go, break point.
Brad's, Dr. Moore, someone is questioning your prescription for young Alvey.
Oh, the milligrams?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
We know you just pulled that out of air, made up a number.
I was going to say milligrams, it worked, though.
What year did you graduate med school?
I'm still a resident. Just don't come to my hospital. It's what I prescribe to everybody, just so you know.
Dr. Moore, I have a hangnail. 10,000 milligrams.
Vitamin C. There you go.
Well, what'd they say?
Rub this on there. Rub these milligrams of vitamin C.
You guys are funny.
Oh, good roll. What pace? Turnaround drive.
Wow.
This is a great point.
Andrew Young backhand there from Morgan.
Silly.
Oh, just missed it.
I love that shot, though.
All right, another sudden death point. 2 games in a row. It's sudden death. Regalado Salazar got the last one on a really good move from McNerney. Just didn't execute. So here we go. McNerney, will he take a cut or will he lob it back? He's just going to lob it.
Yeah.
I think it's smart.
It was nice of you to ask the question, Brad. We knew it was going to be a lot.
Yeah, about 100 out of 100 times.
Well, he went for it in Chicago, and it hurt him. And I think he's kind of learned his lesson on it. And you see Regalado do it. Certain players are always going to hit it. Certain players are just less likely to do so. If that ball goes to Morgan, do you think he hits it? I think he hits it.
For sure.
All right, great transition back. Middle waterfall. Probably the only player on the tour who uses a middle waterfall. Dig.
Wow. Still, that's so much pressure by McNerney, isn't it?
Yep. He's dropping that one.
They just got to stay the course here. That pressure will succeed. But, you know, that's what's so good about Regalado Salazar. They just go into defense mode. Like, they're not looking to drive unless it's just clear here with McNerney stepping forward and hitting those overheads.
He's going to hit that. Oh, and again, he reads it, and he's right there. Crucial moments. 2 sudden death games go to Regalado Salazar. And again, McNerney read the play, and he was inches from the net. Inches. He was just trying to hit a perfect drop volley, it looked like.
I tell you what, Brad and Patty, I mean, again, we've said it, but it's just not the McNerney and Morgan we're used to seeing. They don't give you freebies. And they've just missed a few lobs long. And, I mean, again, McNerney going for that forehand drive a couple games ago, the right look. And that volley, he never misses. I mean, that's what he's so good at.
Yeah, you have better days than others, and it comes down to certain things just come down to execution. And those are 2 games. They were in both of them, you know, and they had a chance. 4-1 now, Regalado Salazar, as they're closing in on their 3rd title of the year, Patty.
I believe so, Brad.
Potentially back-to-back big ones, too.
Yep,
Chicago.
back-to-back Grand Prix.
Yeah. I mean, that's not easy to do with the depth on the tour. Yeah, so Regalado Salazar 1 Montclair, 1 Chicago.
And right now.
Yeah.
And they lost in the finals in Baltimore to Nunez and Powers. I think it's their only loss on the season.
You think about it too, guys, and not to compare tennis to platform tennis, but still, I mean, you look at like an Alcaraz in center, right? I mean, who do you pick? It's like who plays better that day, right? I mean, clearly Regalado Salazar are near flawless today, right? I don't know.
They were in Chicago as well.
Yeah,
I mean, they played just exceptionally high level. They're just giving away so little. And they're still finding incredible ways to put pressure on an offense. All right, there's a good cutoff there from McNerney. Starting to deal a little bit at the net, which they're going to need if they're going to mount any comeback here.
Yeah, but you think about, I mean, the top 3 men's teams in the game today, Nunez, Powers, and you're looking at 2 of them right here. I mean, I guess you would have to pick Regalado Salazar with the way they've been playing lately. But, I mean, those 3 teams, I don't know. I mean, how about this question? If they're all playing at their best, who do you pick? I mean, that's a tough one, right? If they're all playing at their best.
Yeah, I've heard some people have this conversation, and some people believe it's like a little bit of a 3-way thing where Nunez Powers are going to have a hard time beating McNerney Morgan. Regalado Salazar are going to have a harder time beating Nunez Powers. And, you know, like, and they'll trade off a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
They'll trade off a little bit. But that said, in terms of consistency of what we've seen so far this year, Regalado Salazar, you know, it's hard not to make them the pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes it so fun, is just the different styles and the matchups, as we always say.
You know, back when playing a lot too, I had a similar situation to that. There was one guy that I could always beat, and this guy would always beat a guy that I would mostly lose to. Right. But he was the best of all of us, probably overall. Right. But I would always beat him. It's just sometimes matchups are matchups.
Well, that's it.
So last year's Nationals, case in point, Nunez Powers took out Regalado Salazar, who worked their way into #1 team in the country, currently #1. And I mean, with this early, they pull this out. There's a little bit of separation for them.
I mean, just in terms of even the eyeball test, they're just
30-50.
giving away so little.
They really are, and it's week after week now. It's
Well, not only are they giving away so little, but they've also added extra pressure, more cuts. We're not even seeing it today. They're not playing pressure overheads. They're not cracking it at the nick. They're playing basically just error-free ball and then attacking when they need to. And the reality for McNerney and Morgan is they can't find a way to win the points. They're giving away few, and they can't find a way to win them. They're not getting them with the drives. They're not getting them by creating confusion from the net. And there's a stuffed drive right into Adam Morgan's gullet.
I will say this, and be very confident about it. The fact that
Adam,
Salazar.
Watch that rolled over. I don't want it to roll out during the point. It fell over.
Yeah, something fell onto the court there, but that's not Alvy's Smart Water with 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Just so you know, I didn't prescribe that.
No.
Just so you know. But Salazar's forehand is a huge difference maker this season. I mean, he is hitting it with, not that he ever didn't, but I will say Regalado and Salazar as a team are setting that pattern up more frequently.
Okay, and Guy, you're a courtdirector.com guy. You're all about the stats all the time. Unforced errors in this match so far, Jose Salazar. How many fingers do you need?
I don't think I need any.
How many has he made? He's
One.
made one. Yeah, and we've talked about it, sort of a little ad nauseum here, but I think the comeback's going to start if they continue this level. I don't see where the comeback starts for McNerney Morgan. Although we'd be having a totally different conversation if not for those last 2 points on those those sudden death games. So it's just a very different thing, and that's the unique thing about this scoring system now, which I actually personally love it.
Well, I think it's great to see teams really adapt to it and play the listen.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a huge wow. Look at this.
That was a hammer from McNerney.
Point just started over. Slowing it down. McNerney just crushed that. See, the thing about McNerney's forehand is the less time he has to think about it, the better it is. The more time, just like with all of us, the less you should just drive it, just lob it. If you have time to think, lob the ball. We've played like 5 points within this point, haven't we?
Yeah, no, it's been great transition back.
Unbelievable.
Great to see a huge drive out of McNerney. And now we settled right back into good defense. What a spot drive there, just placing it. He goes inside,
30,
pulls
40.
McNerney out of position, and then he puts it right into the crease he created.
And that's the backhand from
Beautiful shots.
Salazar I was talking. He has it, and he saved it for one of the biggest points in the match right there. Patty, do you think that's a fault?
Yep.
Game, Regalado,
5-1.
Salazar. They lead 5-1.
Yeah, it's so economical, too, that stroke, that backhand stroke. He was able to hold it, and he just quickly brings the racket head out, blasts one in the alley, quick drive, and then he spots it right through the middle.
Do you guys think that he said the next time I see that ball there, I'm going to drive my backhand? Or do you think it just happened? I mean,
I think he's consistently ready to drive, and he reads the situation very well. I don't think he makes it like, yeah, maybe he does. Next time I'm going to see it, I'm going to hit it. I think he's just very good at reading it, and I do agree entirely that they are working this game around, Salazar's offense and rollers at the crease more, in the backcourt. And Regalado, although he's doing a ton of stuff, it's more like he's filling in all the gaps, right?
Yeah.
And they're working it around, Salazar. He's hitting incredible drives and great rollers and
15,
adding a few more cuts in there too. And Regalado, basically, whatever gap isn't quite being filled, he's just going to step into that spot. He'll hit a few more forehands if he needs to. If he doesn't, he won't.
Yeah,
and he's filling in the gaps, and he's doing it perfectly.
It's interesting as I listen to you both talk. I mean, I haven't ever said this about Regalado Salazar, but I'm going to say it now. I mean, just because of Salazar's forehand and what's happening in the patterns that Regalado and Salazar are creating, I will tell you that Regalado is an unbelievable role player in the sense that he is setting that up, and then he'll take what comes to him. It usually goes the opposite way, right? I mean, you're trying to set up that ad side, but, I mean, he's doing such an unbelievable job of setting up Salazar. You guys agree?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you can clearly see the role from Salazar increasing, especially in the hit rate and the offense they're playing in the backcourt and with the overheads as well. And it's wise because he's got that backhand in the middle. There really isn't a spot you can go.
What I mean.
He can hit the forehand. I mean, he's got a great forehand, but he's got that backhand in the middle. It's highly effective.
There's another Nick.
Perfect shot in the crease again. He's just aiming, and he's taken, he's just gotten so good at it. It forces you to have to block a few. And that's no easy thing to do all the time either, because then you're speeding up the point. You want to let it go to the screen. And sometimes just hard to get over there if they set you up. Ooh, good move there from McNerney. Still perfectly read. Yeah, good job there. He sees the up-down overhead coming. And he bounces it over.
Wow.
When it rains, it pours, and it is double match point for Regalado and Salazar.
Another Nick. Great get by Morgan.
Another Nick.
Oh, he's going heavy cut. Oh, big ball in the top of the net and not over.
Salazar, 6-2, 6-1.
And there you have it, back-to-back Grand Prix for Regalado Salazar, Guy and Patty. All right, so we're going to go to commercial really quickly here, right on Joho, and we're going to come back with an interview, so stay tuned with that.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Hi, I'm Cindy Prendergast, and today I'm in Chicago, and I have a tip for you. Oftentimes we play teams that are better than us, unfortunately, and we just did today. My partner Lauren Zink and I, we played Macy Elliott and Lynn Burris. My tip is this: play within yourself. That first set we lost 6-0 because I think we were just trying to do too many things. We didn't play like we typically play because I think we were probably a little threatened by their aggressiveness and their volleys and so forth. Second set, we played more within ourselves and we made less errors and we caused them to make a little bit more errors, and it was 6-4. So I guess, again, my tip is play within yourself. Enjoy playing these higher seeded teams. There's no other sport like our sport that gives you the opportunity to do so and have fun. I'm Cindy Prendergast. I hope you enjoyed this tip. I hope you all go out and beat these higher seeded teams, have fun doing it, and then enjoy a beer with them afterwards.
My name is Jose Salazar, and I'm going to give you a tip on how to make your drives more effective. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is that the opponents are waiting for the drive to come to them, and that gives them extra time for the opponents to close and get ready at the net. So my tip for you is to get closer to the bounce so you're not giving them any time. I'm Jose Salazar. I hope you enjoy this tip and hope to see you soon.
Program.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Tour, where we have Jay Seagull out there with Tournament Director Jay Seagull with champion of the Aronimink Open, Jose Salazar. I'm sure we're waiting for Regalado to get in there. But they played a flawless match today, Patty.
Yeah, I mean, I never would have expected that Morgan McNerney would only get 3 games in the men's finals. Just an amazing performance by Alvi and Jose.
So, Patty, as we say, it takes a village. We have some people to thank.
Yeah, so many people in the APTA behind the scenes. Let's start with Mark Thornford, who is our IT guy. Karen Jedlik runs the tournaments. Jen Berenger, Director of Marketing. Regina Feeney, she's a bookkeeper. She does it all. Our CEO, Amin Kaduri. Debbie Scully, our tournament and member support person. Nindy Bike, Senior Editor for APTA. Isabel Caban, the one and only Ann Sheedy.
All right, so we're out there with JC, Tournament Director JC
Hi
Cotto.
guys, welcome from Aronimink. JC here, your Tournament Director. First off, we want to thank all the sponsors, local sponsors, and all the families from Aronimink. On behalf of the membership at Aronimink Golf Club, all our sponsors, I want to congratulate our back-to-back champions, Jose Salazar and Alvi Regalado. Congrats, boys. This is back-to-back wins for you guys. Chicago 2 weeks ago, Aronimink, back-to-back Grand Prix, adding to your third title at Montclair. Obviously a convincing victory tonight. What are your thoughts on the match?
Well, first of all, big thank you, JC and the whole club. You guys put an incredible show. So glad that this is a Grand Prix this year. Big thank you to Zenon and M4 and Joe for hosting us. It's always great to play Graham and Morgan. We had great battles with them. They make us better. Nunez and Power is another team that always makes us better as well, and we love playing them. It's a good competition. It raises the level, and at the end of the day, yes, we keep winning these tournaments, but we want to keep improving as the season goes on and play our best in March. That's the goal. This is great to keep winning, but we want to keep improving and having fun together. Winning and losing is great with these guys, so super happy to get with the victory, and of course, big thank you to my club for supporting along the way, Stanwich, and that's it.
Alvi, you were obviously under the weather a little bit this weekend, but that didn't slow you down on the court. What are your thoughts on the match?
Well, first of all, thank you, Joe, for hosting us, JC, and the whole club. This is one of the best clubs I've been to in a really long time. You guys have a great setup here. I know the organization behind the scenes takes a lot of effort, so thank you, and thank you APTA for making what you guys make for all of us. Obviously, Mark and all the team as well. And yeah, this week's shout out goes to my girlfriend. We've been under the weather for the whole week. I know she was competing out here like a champion, so I'm really proud of her. And then it goes to my partner. He had to deal with my sickness this weekend, and I was not easy, so I apologize for everything that I've done. I'm glad we got it. We pulled it through, and again, big hi to Short Hills Club. I know they're watching and supporting, and they're very supporting in every aspect. So thank you guys again. This is great. Thank you APTA again. You guys are awesome. You guys treat us amazing. Yeah, see you guys soon.
Well, guys,
all right,
we have
so
our main sponsors, Stateside Vodka and Aronimink. We want to give you a little gift. Congrats, boys.
Thank you.
all right, terrific. Stateside Vodka and Aronimink, and they did a great job here at the 2025 Aronimink Open Men's and Women's Grand Prix. Patty, any final thoughts?
Brad, I just want to wish you, your loved ones, and everyone in the paddle community a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to all. That's well said, Patty. And that's a wrap for the 2025 Aronimink Open Men's Grand Prix, and the tour takes a break next weekend for the Thanksgiving holiday, but returns on December 6th with tour stops in Long Island, New York, Denver, Colorado. So we hope you'll join us for those coverage as well. Everybody have a wonderful holiday. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Brad.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
I am Florentina Hanisch, and today I'll be giving a tip on how to start the match the right way. When I start my match, I like to start playing high percentage plays, so a lot of lobs, a lot of balls through the middle, and when I start driving, I go for 75% pace. I find that a lot of club players go for too much, too big at the beginning, but the muscles are a little bit tight at the beginning of the match, and then errors start accumulating. So beginning of the match, go for 75% pace, keep your swing nice and compact, and go a lot for the middle. For the beginning of the match, I would say for the first 4 games, that's when you should stay focused on playing a lot of high percentage. Once you have played 4 games and your muscles start loosening it up and you figure out strengths and weaknesses of your opponents, then you can start changing the plays. I am Florentina Hanisch. I hope you enjoyed this tip.